Okay. RICO predicate. This conduct constitutes racketeering activity under 1961B as it is indictable under the Trafficking Victims Protection Act, which is a forced labor is an offense under 18 USC 1581 to all the way up to 1592. It also involves extortionate means, obtaining services through fear of harm. Which is analogous. I think that's that word. Let me double check. Analogously means in a way that is similar or comparable. Okay. Which is comparable to extortion and thus independently qualifies under 1961. Predicate Act 2, sex trafficking by coercion. Throughout their working relationship, Fat Joe coerced TA into participating in non-consensual sexual acts for Fat Joe's gratification and entertainment. These acts were carried out under duress and the threat of serious harm and occurred both domestically and abroad while on tour. Fat Joe required TA to engage in group sex acts in his presence, including one incident where the plaintiff and other associates were forced to sandwich a woman at Fat Joe's command. On another occasion, I'm thinking about them niggas nuts touching in the last. I don't know if this is the same one. Oh no, because Fat Joe was watching this one, allegedly. On another occasion, after TA refused to participate in a similar scenario, Fat Joe canceled TA's return flight and left him stranded with no funds or shelter for several days. These acts were not isolated incidents, but part of a broader pattern of control and degradation in which Fat Joe extracted sexual compliance from TA as a form of submission and power consolidation. The plaintiff feared professional and physical retaliation if he resisted. This conduct falls squarely within the definition of sex trafficking by coercion under 18 USC 1591, as Fat Joe knowingly obtained sexual acts from TA in exchange for continued employment, survival, and access to shelter and safety. It also qualifies under New York Penal Law 230.34, which criminalizes the use of coercion to induce a person to engage in sexual conduct for another's benefit. The cohesive nature of these acts were amplified by Fat Joe's economic leverage, psychological intimidation, and verbal threats, satisfying the statutory definition of coercion under both state and federal law. Accordingly, this constitutes a predicate act under 18 USC 1961B. Predicate Act number 3, witness tampering, intimidation of victims, and retaliation. We can come up to that murder. I can't wait to see what this murder is. Witness tampering, intimidation of victim acts. Witness tampering, intimidation of victims, and retaliation. Summary. After TA began disclosing the unlawful, coercive, and violent conduct of Fat Joe and Fat Joe's enterprise. Enterprise members conspired to retaliate against TA, seeking to prevent him from further disclosure or pursuing legal action. In 2 recorded phone calls, Fat Joe's top lieutenants, Pistol Pete and Rich Player, called a mutual associate, Percy, to attempt to lure TA into a planned ambush. The clear objective of these calls was to retaliate against TA for violating Fat Joe by going public. During the calls, Pistol Pete and Rich Player urged Percy to help set him up, stating that Joe's family had to deal with him and the situation had gone too far to fix. Fat Joe was identified as the one giving the order, and phrases such as pound him out and get at him were repeated, signaling a premeditated physical assault or worse. Percy declined to participate and preserve the recordings. These recordings are direct evidence of a conspiracy to commit retaliatory violence in violation of the following: 18 U.S.C. 1512b, for attempts to intimidate or injure a witness and with the intent of preventing testimony or lawful cooperation. This sounds like TA or his lawyer already went to the feds already. Because how would he be a witness already? For attempts to intimidate or injure a witness with the intent of preventing testimony or lawful cooperation. He might have went to the feds already. Or the feds already know about this. If these niggas are still out talking about doing something to this nigga, if somebody put their hands on this nigga, Fat Joe is going to jail. If somebody put their hand, they do anything to this. If anybody touch TA right now, I guarantee you they picking Fat Joe up. They ain't gonna give a fuck who did it. They picking Fat Joe up. Somebody's gonna send Fat Joe to jail. They do anything to this nigga. If anybody's calling him, threatening him, Fat Joe's going to get in trouble. If somebody's online threatening him, they're going to get pulled into this and they're going to jail right along with Fat Joe if this goes criminal. Which I think they probably already been notified. So if you stupid niggas out here try to act on doing something to TA, and you think you doing Fat Joe a favor, your ass is going to catch a case and you going to send Fat Joe to jail. And I'm sure Fat Joe telling niggas right now, leave that nigga alone. I'm telling you, because I done had niggas call me about fucking, and I ain't even got no case. Be like, yo, Choke, I see this bitch ass nigga right here. Leave that nigga alone. Do not do nothing to that nigga. I don't give a fuck. Leave them niggas and let niggas talk. Do not do nothing and then be talking about you looked out for me, nigga. You gonna get yourself in trouble and you'll get my ass in trouble. So in this, I ain't even in no shit. That just niggas talking fucking shit on the internet and niggas just want to be loyal niggas. Don't be no loyal fool, because you will get your ass pulled into some shit and you will send Fat Joe to jail. Remember, Fat Joe put the lawsuit in first. Okay? This is a response to Fat Joe putting in the lawsuit. He took it to the courts. If y'all niggas go out there and think and try to get some brownie points, you gonna get your ass pulled right into this shit. Trust me. Trust me. And if Fat Joe watching right now, he's saying the same shit. You hear that, nigga? You hear him? Y'all niggas better not get my ass in no shit right now. Y'all better leave that nigga alone. Florida State, where applicable, based on location of Fat Joe's operations. These acts are as predicate racketeering offenses under 18 U.S.C. 1961b. They reflect the enterprise, structured use of fear, intimidation, and coordinated enforcement to preserve its operations, suppress whistleblowers, and insinuate defendant from legal consequences. Federal statute violated. Tampering with a witness, victim, or informant. Niggas, I already said it. I ain't gonna say it again. Tampering with a witness, victim, or informant, using physical force or threats to hinder any person from providing information to law enforcement or from testifying in an official proceeding. Y'all niggas gotta be stupid. State statute violated. Florida statutes. Tampering with or harassing a witness, victim, or informant, making it a felony to intimidate or threaten any witness or victim to prevent them from reporting a crime or testifying.